for today's lesson on socializing with your colleagues. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to socialize with colleagues you're meeting in person for the first time. Before we get started, a quick reminder that this lesson, along with hundreds of others, is available as a free download from the Business English Pod website. Premium members can also access a PDF transcript and online quizzes for every lesson. If you'd like to take a free trial to preview some of these extra resources, what do you talk about when you meet someone new or see your colleagues socially? Some outgoing people apparently never have to think about it. They're just natural socializers and feel comfortable with small talk. For most of us, though, making small talk with new people or coworkers feels uncomfortable at best or painful at worst, but it doesn't have to be. We call it small talk because it's light, simple, and informal conversation. It's not serious, deep, or overly formal. Small talk is often about personal matters, but not too personal if it's at work. We often talk about places or things that are safe and avoid controversial topics. And there's a flow to small talk that can be tricky to master. Your comments can't be too short, or you'll seem rude. But if they're too long, people will lose interest. So what can you talk about if you're meeting colleagues for the first time at, say, a conference or a company retreat? Well, some key topics include your name and job, of course, but also places and travel. And key strategies include building on other people's comments, making guesses or inferences, and using unfinished sentences to invite other people to speak. With a handle on these approaches, you can comfortably chat socially with your colleagues. In today's dialogue, we'll hear a conversation at a company retreat. People from a large company are gathering for meetings and team building. We'll hear Michelle, Jen, and Ryan meet each other for the first time. In their conversation, you'll hear the topics and strategies that I've just mentioned. As you listen to the dialogue, try to answer the following questions. 1. What information does Jen give in her short personal introduction? 2. What comment or fact given by Michelle does Jen build on with a further comment? 3. What does Jen ask Ryan about once he has introduced himself?
Well, that was short and sweet, as far as welcoming addresses go.
For a change. And did I hear him mention grandkids? I had him down for early 50s.
63 from what I heard. Michelle Young, by the way. Great to meet you.
Likewise, Michelle. Jen Ward, Customer Experience Manager in San Francisco. And you're in...
The other coast, Boston.
Oh, nice. I just love Boston. Harvard Square, Fenway Park, Seaport. I was there in July. Had a blast.
Did I just hear Fenway Park?
You certainly did. I take it we have a baseball fan in our midst?
You could say that, but not the Red Sox, I'm afraid. I'm originally from Toronto, so Jays all the way.
Well, I won't hold it against you. It's nice to meet you. Michelle Young. And this is...
Jen Ward.
Great to meet you both. Ryan Beatty, Marketing. And so you're from Boston, Michelle. And Jen, you're from...
Beautiful San Fran. And you said you're originally from Toronto? So I take it you're no longer there. Did you have to travel far?
Berlin, actually.
Wow, Europe.
Yeah, just flew in a couple hours ago. Apologies if I look beat, but I am. Wasn't sure I'd come down for this after checking in, but I think I might be getting my second win now.
Better hope it lasts, because apparently we're going bowling after dinner.
Oh, great. Always nice to find new ways to embarrass myself.
Now let's go through the dialogue again and look at the language and techniques the three colleagues used in their conversation. The conversation begins right after a speech or welcoming address from the company CEO.
Well, that was short and sweet, as far as welcoming addresses go.
For a change. And did I hear him mention grandkids? I had him down for early 50s.
63 from what I heard. Michelle Young, by the way. Great to meet you.
Likewise, Michelle. Jen Ward, Customer Experience Manager in San Francisco. And you're in...
Michelle strikes up a conversation with Jen, a coworker she's never met before, by commenting on something they're both experiencing. And Jen responds positively with a comment of her own. In this case, they're commenting on the CEO's speech and his age. The focus is not on themselves, but what they're seeing. Once they've initiated the small talk, and it's clear that Jen is interested in chatting, Michelle introduces herself by giving her name. And Jen responds with her own introduction, with a very common pattern of information. She gives her full name, her job title, and her place of work. In this case, they both work for the same company, so she just gives the city name. Let's run through some examples of this kind of short personal introduction to someone you've just met.
Hi, I'm Diego Garcia, VP Finance.
Jill Kelly, Regional Sales Manager, Southwest Division.
Hi there. I'm Ivan Taylor with Crystal Media out of Houston.
Paula Schmidt, Head of Communications at Morningstar.
Now listen as Jen turns the conversation back to Michelle.
And you're in...
The other coast, Boston.
Oh, nice. I just love Boston. Harvard Square, Fenway Park, Seaport. I was there in July. Had a blast.
In small talk, you can't let the other person do all the talking. You need to take a topic that they mention and build on it. In this case, Jen is taking the topic of Boston and telling Michelle about her recent experience there and how much she loves it. This kind of commenting on what someone says, especially when it's very positive, is a great way to build rapport or a connection. What are some other ways we can build a connection in this way? Let's try some more examples.
You're from Hawaii? I absolutely love it there. Which island are you from?
I'm a huge soccer fan as well. What's your team?
Hot is right. I heard this weather will continue into the weekend.
A holiday sounds nice. Where are you thinking of going?
At this point, another person joins the conversation, and to do so, you'll hear him pick up on one of the comments he just heard.
Did I just hear Fenway Park?
You certainly did. I take it we have a baseball fan in our midst?
Ryan has asked about Fenway Park, which is a baseball stadium in Boston. And so Michelle makes an easy inference or guess that he's interested in baseball. If Ryan's comment was like knocking on the door to the conversation, Michelle's question is like opening that door and inviting Ryan in. Making little guesses and inviting comment is a way to invite someone deeper into a conversation. You're giving them the chance to talk about something that you think they know about or are interested in. Let's practice some more ways to make inferences to invite further comment.
I take it you've been with your company for a long time.
From the sounds of it, you have a background in finance.
I'm guessing you've got quite a big family if you're so busy.
Ah, you must listen to Mel Robbins' podcast, too.
So how does Ryan respond to the invitation to talk about baseball?
You could say that, but not the Red Sox, I'm afraid. I'm originally from Toronto, so Jays all the way.
Well, I won't hold it against you. It's nice to meet you. Michelle Young. And this is...
Ryan accepts the invitation into the conversation and reveals that he's from Toronto and therefore supports the Blue Jays baseball team. You'll notice that Michelle is using some light teasing or joking when she says, "I won't hold it against you." That means she won't dislike or resent him just for supporting the Blue Jays. This kind of joking is appropriate in small talk, but only about simple and safe topics. After Michelle introduces herself to Ryan, she wants to invite Jen to introduce herself too. She does this by starting a sentence, but not finishing it. When we do this, especially when we draw out the last word, people understand that they're supposed to complete the sentence for you. Passing the conversation to someone else with an unfinished sentence is a useful socializing trick. So let's practice some more examples.
Nice to meet you, Fiona. And you are from...
Wow, software development, huh? And you work for...
I've been with Starbucks 10 years, and you've been there for...
I'm Will Rankin, and here with me today is...
Let's get back to the dialogue, where you can hear Ryan use exactly the same technique of using an unfinished sentence.
Jen Ward.
Great to meet you both. Ryan Beatty, marketing. And so you're from Boston, Michelle, and Jen, you're from...
Beautiful San Fran. And you said you're originally from Toronto? So I take it you're no longer there. Did you have to travel far?
Now that the three people have all been introduced to each other, they need to find some things to talk about. One safe and easy topic is travel, especially if you're at an event with people from other cities or countries. Jen's question is, did you have to travel far? She's inviting Ryan to talk about where he lives or has come from. What are some other ways to ask about travel to an event? Let's run through some more examples.
Coming a long way for this, or do you live nearby?
Did you just fly in this morning?
Was it easy for you to get to the hotel?
How far did you have to travel for this?
Now let's hear where Ryan has traveled from.
Berlin, actually.
Wow, Europe!
Yeah, just flew in a couple hours ago. Apologies if I look beat, but I am. Wasn't sure I'd come down for this after checking in, but I think I might be getting my second win now.
Better hope it lasts, because apparently we're going bowling after dinner.
Oh, great. Always nice to find new ways to embarrass myself.
Ryan has traveled quite far for the event. He uses this fact to comment on how tired or beat he is. But he also mentions that he is getting his second wind, which is when we get fresh energy after being tired. And as you can hear, later in the evening the group will go bowling, and Jen and Ryan will have some time to take their social conversation to a deeper level. Now let's practice some of the language we learned in today's lesson. Imagine you are an HR manager at a staff retreat. Someone at the event has approached you and started a conversation. You'll hear a cue by the other person. Then I'll give you a suggestion for what you can say in response. We'll guide you through each step in the practice and provide an example answer for each response. Ready? Let's give it a go.
Oh, hi there. Margaret Geller, marketing.
Start by saying it's nice to meet her and introducing yourself as Kelly Manning, HR manager.
Answer. Nice to meet you, Margaret. Kelly Manning, HR manager.
It's a pleasure, Kelly. Good to see so many amazing people at the retreat.
Now, build on that comment by saying that it's certainly a lot more than attended last year.
Answer: Yes, it's certainly a lot more than attended last year's.
Oh, is that right? I really wasn't sure what to expect.
Next, say that you are guessing the person is fairly new to the company.
Answer: So I'm guessing that you're fairly new to the company?
That's right. I joined about 6 months ago. It's a really nice change from my previous job.
Next, make a comment about her former work, but don't finish it so that she can provide the information.
Answer: I see. And your previous job was?
I was a communications manager for a mining company, actually.
Finally, say that's interesting and ask if the person has had to travel far for this.
Answer: Oh, that's interesting. And have you had to travel far for this?
Now let's practice some of the vocabulary we've covered in this lesson. In a moment, you'll hear a series of sentences with a word replaced with a beep. Repeat each sentence, including the missing word. For example, if you hear,
I live in San Diego, which is on the west of the U.S.
you can say,
I live in San Diego, which is on the west coast of the U.S.
After each response, we'll provide the correct answer. Let's begin.
I was really impressed by Anne's welcoming at the start of the conference. Answer: I was really impressed by Anne's welcoming address at the start of the conference.
I'm sorry, everyone, but I'm just to join you for drinks after work. Answer: I'm sorry, everyone, but I'm just too beat to join you for drinks after work.
It sounds like everyone had at the staff party last week. Answer: It sounds like everyone had a blast at the staff party last week.
I was feeling tired an hour ago, but I'm getting my second now. Answer: I was feeling tired an hour ago, but I'm getting my second win now.
For today's lesson on English for socializing with colleagues. Today, we're going to look at how to build deeper conversations with colleagues you've met for the first time. Before we get started, a quick reminder that this lesson, along with hundreds of others, is available as a free download from the Business English Pod website. When we meet a colleague for the first time, the conversation is usually pretty light. We introduce ourselves, make small talk about the weather, sports, or travel, and we try to build a bit of a connection with people. Listen to a conversation like this, and you'll notice that people keep their comments pretty short and don't spend too long talking about themselves. Once you've established that initial connection, you have an opportunity to build rapport by deepening the conversation. While you might talk a bit more personally than the initial conversation, it's still important to keep it light, and you need to continue with a back and forth dance of a skilled conversationalist. In this deepening conversation, you might make comments about the place you're in or the location. Another easy way to get someone talking is to ask them a number-based question, like how long they've lived in a certain place, for example. Skilled people also know how to turn the conversation back to the other person and find similarities to build rapport. And once you have some rapport, you'll be able to contradict or disagree with people politely. In today's dialogue, we'll rejoin a pair of colleagues, Jen and Ryan, who've just met at a company retreat. In our last lesson, we heard their very first conversation. Now they're getting to know each other a bit better during a company social event at a bowling alley. As you listen to the dialogue, try to answer the following questions. 1. What number-based question does Jen ask Ryan to get him talking? 2. What similarity in background or family situation does Ryan point out? 3. What point does Jen make that Ryan disagrees with near the end of the dialogue?
Honestly, I don't think I've been bowling since I was 10.
Me neither. And things have changed because, well, this is a pretty swanky bowling alley. Never thought I'd be drinking a martini in bowling shoes.
It's a good look. I was skeptical at first, but it's kind of a fun idea to get out of the business/hotel vibe and into...
Something a bit more relaxed? Yeah, for sure. Though this is the first of these I've attended. How about you? How long have you been with Century Health?
7 years next Wednesday to the day, believe it or not.
Wow, you remember the actual date? Happy early anniversary.
Well, thanks. It's been interesting, to say the least, especially the move to Berlin. I was in Florida before that, the epicenter of seniors care, as we always joked. I miss the sun, that's for sure. Anyway, what about you? You been with us long?
About 3 years. I started off in hospitality, and then this opportunity at Century Health came up.
Smart move, if you don't mind me saying.
Yeah, I was really looking for a bit more meaning and purpose, to be honest. And my dad was a doctor, treated a lot of older folks, so I grew up with a front row seat to all of that.
I so know what you mean. My mom was a GP. She didn't specialize in the elderly or anything, but yeah. I think I got an idea of how important healthcare is and its shortcomings.
Tell me about it. But from what I understand, it's a totally different story in Germany. One of the best healthcare systems in the world, right?
I wish I could say things are amazing, but they're not. Quite a bit of shady stuff going on, to tell the truth. Anyway, something to talk about another time perhaps. I think it's almost your turn.
Now let's go through the dialogue again and look at the language and techniques Jen and Ryan used in their conversation. We joined them in a fancy or swanky bowling alley during a social event.
Honestly, I don't think I've been bowling since I was 10.
Me neither. And things have changed because, well, this is a pretty swanky bowling alley. Never thought I'd be drinking a martini in bowling shoes.
At the start of a casual conversation, it's good to have some things you can talk about that are safe and not too personal. One of those topics is location or place. Think about where you are, whether that's a particular building, city, or region, and tell the other person your thoughts about it. In this way, you're not asking a question, but just making a comment, which is an invitation for the other person to engage. Let's run through some more ways of commenting on location or place in a casual conversation.
What a beautiful setting here overlooking the ocean.
This is quite the swanky place they've got here. Very modern.
Nice they're holding this event downtown. Makes it easy to get around.
It's my first time here in Boston, and I must say, I'm impressed.
Now let's hear how Ryan responds with his own comments about the place. As we can hear, he was skeptical at first, which means he doubted whether it was a good choice of location.
It's a good look. I was skeptical at first, but it's kind of a fun idea to get out of the business/hotel vibe and into...
Something a bit more relaxed? Yeah, for sure. Though this is the first of these I've attended. How about you? How long have you been with Century Health?
Once Jen and Ryan have had some casual banter about the location, Jen is ready to engage more personally. It can be difficult sometimes to know just what you should ask a person you've just met. But one easy type of question is anything that has a number as an answer. Jen asks how long Ryan has been with Century Health, the company they both work for. Number-based questions can be about time, about travel distance, about the number of employees, anything that requires the number as an answer. Just think about using how long, or how many, or how often, and you can easily think of some questions to ask. Let's practice some of these ways of asking number-based questions when you're getting to know someone better.
When was the last time you were here?
How long have you known our mutual friend James?
You've got a cottage in the Ozarks? How often do you go there?
What time did you fly in last night?
As you can hear, Jen's question and enthusiastic response encourages Ryan to talk more about his work experience.
7 years next Wednesday to the day, believe it or not.
Wow, you remember the actual date? Happy early anniversary.
Well, thanks. It's been interesting, to say the least, especially the move to Berlin. I was in Florida before that, the epicenter of seniors' care, as we always joked. I miss the sun, that's for sure. Anyway, what about you? You been with us long?
Ryan talks about his time at the company and how he moved to Berlin from Florida, which he misses. You can hear that each step or turn in the conversation is getting longer than in the initial conversation, when comments were quite brief. It's good to explain and provide more detail like this, but you don't want to talk too much without giving the other person a chance to speak. That's why Ryan says, anyway, what about you? He's turning Jen's question back to her to give her an opportunity to discuss her experience. Let's try some more ways of turning the conversation back to the other person.
Anyway, enough about me. How are things in the Lisbon office?
So, with such a busy home life, I don't get away much. How about you? Big family?
I actually studied history. And you? What did you study?
And what about you? Have you been with the company long?
Now let's listen as Jen talks about her career progression and why she joined Century Health.
About 3 years. I started off in hospitality, and then this opportunity at Century Health came up.
Smart move, if you don't mind me saying.
Yeah, I was really looking for a bit more meaning and purpose, to be honest. And my dad was a doctor, treated a lot of older folks, so I grew up with a front row seat to all of that.
Having a front row seat to something is like being in the front row at a performance, where you can see the performers in action very clearly. Jen had a front row seat to seniors' care because her father was a doctor. At this point, Ryan is able to identify a personal similarity with Jen. Let's listen. Note that a GP is a general practitioner or family doctor.
I so know what you mean. My mom was a GP. She didn't specialize in the elderly or anything, but yeah. I think I got an idea of how important healthcare is and its shortcomings.
Both Jan and Ryan has a parent who was a doctor. Identifying this similarity helps to build rapport or a connection with the other person. In a conversation, you can listen for many different types of similarities to comment on and build a deeper connection. Similarities could be in travel, family situation, education, or other experiences. Let's try some more ways of identifying a similarity to build rapport.
No way. I was just in Puerto Vallarta as well.
Yeah, I hear you. I really didn't like the training program either.
That's so funny. My son is really into hockey too. Sure keeps us busy.
Seriously? You went to Stanford? I did my undergrad there. When did you graduate?
One thing Ryan noted is that because his mother was a doctor, he could see the shortcomings or problems in healthcare. This leads Jen to ask about Ryan's experience in Germany.
Tell me about it. But from what I understand, it's a totally different story in Germany. One of the best healthcare systems in the world, right?
I wish I could say things are amazing, but they're not. Quite a bit of shady stuff going on, to tell the truth.
Jan has heard that Germany has a great healthcare system. In fact, Ryan doesn't agree with this idea, but he doesn't know Jan well and can't respond like we might with a close friend. When we disagree with friends, we can be very direct, but with a colleague we're just getting to know, we need to be more polite. To politely disagree, Ryan says, "I wish I could say things are amazing," and ends his comment with "to tell the truth." These are ways of softening the ideas that contradict Jen's statement. What are some other ways we can disagree politely with a colleague we're just getting to know? Let's run through some more examples. Note that we often start with a positive statement of understanding.
Well, I wish it was that simple. I actually think the solution is to close the branch.
Yeah, I can see what you mean, but I still think he's better than the other candidates.
I get that, for sure. However, the research is telling us something different.
That's true for some companies. For us, though, I don't think it would work.
Now let's hear Ryan's final comment in this part of the conversation.
Anyway, something to talk about another time perhaps. I think it's almost your turn.
Ryan has contradicted Jan, but he doesn't want to get into an argument or talk too much about things that are serious or complex. They're at the bowling alley to have a bit of fun, and so he closes this topic of conversation and redirects things back to the bowling game. Now let's practice some of the language we learned in today's lesson. Imagine you are at a social event during a company retreat. You're talking with someone you've just recently met and getting to know them a bit better. You'll hear a cue by the other person, then I'll give you a suggestion for what you can say in response. We'll guide you through each step in the practice and provide an example answer for each response. Ready? Let's give it a go.
There sure are a lot of people here this evening.
Start by saying yes and commenting on how fantastic the venue is.
Answer: yes, there are, and it's such a fantastic venue.
Yeah, it's definitely nicer than some of the other places we've used.
Now show interest and ask the person how long they've been with the company.
Answer: oh, I see. And how long have you been with the company?
10 years. Feels longer. How about you?
Now say you've been at the Seattle branch for 15 years. Then ask her which branch she works at.
Answer. Well, I've been at the Seattle branch for 15 years. And you? Which branch are you at?
I'm at the Buffalo office, born and raised in New York State, and never really left.
Now say you grew up in New York as well, though you don't get back much.
Answer. Oh, really? I grew up in New York, though I don't get back much.
Well, nothing has really changed, so you're not missing anything.
Finally, politely disagree by saying some things are maybe the same, but the last time you were there, you saw a lot of changes.
Answer. Well, some things may be the same, but the last time I was there, I saw a lot of changes.
Now let's practice some of the vocabulary we've covered in this lesson. In a moment, you'll hear a series of sentences with a word replaced with a beep. Repeat each sentence, including the missing word. For example, if you hear,
Not sure I chose the right outfit for such a restaurant.
you can say,
Not sure I chose the right outfit for such a swanky restaurant.
After each response, we'll provide the correct answer. Let's begin.
I think it was a smart to hire Andy instead of Jeff. Answer. I think it was a smart move to hire Andy instead of Jeff.
I'm sorry, but I think there are some major to our HR policies. Answer. I'm sorry, but I think there are some major shortcomings to our HR policies.
Hotels and other companies in the industry are having a hard time these days. Answer. Hotels and other companies in the hospitality industry are having a hard time these days.
This September, I'm celebrating my 10th with the company. Answer. This September, I'm celebrating my 10th anniversary with the company.
We've reached the end of this lesson on deepening your connection with colleagues you've just met. We've learned how to comment on places and ask number-based questions. We've also looked at how to turn the conversation back to the other person, build rapport, and politely disagree. For more practice, premium members can access the online quizzes and PDF transcripts for this and other lessons on the BEP website. Not a member yet? Then head over to www.businessenglishpod.com and sign up for a free trial to preview some of the extra resources available to members. Thanks for listening, and see you again soon.